back, everybody. Moving right along. We're not going to be long, but the content is going to be strong. Coming up next, my co-host on the Chicken Box, the Afro Zone. Yes, the Chicken Box. It's a show. Go follow us on Facebook on the Afro page every week. We dispel stereotypes. We talk about the issues that are right in your face and that people are talking about and aren't. And then we allow you to get on the box and you can share how you feel. It might not be right, but it's your turn to get on the box, and sometimes you just need to get on the box. Misha Green, my co-host, who will be interviewing
Rexy Rolle. She is the Chief Counsel and Vice President of Operations for the largest Black privately owned airline in the Bahamas called Western Air. And she oversees the growth and expansion of their $90 million company. And let me tell you this.
With an M.
She did this, yes, M million. She did all this before the age of 30. So I'm sure she's going to have some nuggets for us.
Western Air, y'all.
It's time to soar.
It is time to soar.
Hey everyone, I am just so excited to be chatting with Rexy Rolle today. We have had some fun backstage conversations about from baby hairs and hair to our dogs, okay? Okay. So this is going to be some fun Black girl magic as we talk about it's time to soar.
Time to soar.
It's time to soar. I love that. It's 2022. It's been time to soar. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. So, I guess first of all, before we even get into the nitty gritty of things, how are you doing? We're still in the middle of a pandemic.
Are we? No, no. Yes, we are. I'm doing great. I think, with this whole pandemic, it boils down to the challenge is uncertainty. And I think the more we know, the more we have an ability to plan and kind of stabilize everything that we want to do. So that gives a little bit more comfort. So I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, of course, at the beginning, of course, that's my dog. I'm so sorry. But of course, at the beginning,
too.
yeah. Of course, at the beginning, you have all these challenges just trying to figure out what policy should you implement in your business, how to balance health and economics and all of that. But for the most part, we're doing pretty well. Yeah.
Awesome. It's good to hear the resilience that has been necessary during this time and that you're doing well. So I have a little game that I like to do with folks where they complete the thought, if you will. So, for instance, what is Rexy's favorite lotion? And then you would share it with the people, kind of thing. Okay. That's not one of them today, unless you'd like to. All nice and moisturized and glowing.
Yeah. Shea butter is always good.
Yes.
Some coconut oil.
You've heard it first, y'all. Shea butter, coconut oil is the
moist.
That's the secret behind the glow.
Yes.
Secret behind the soar, right?
Absolutely.
So here's the first question. Wake up. It's time to soar, either in the skies or in the business meeting. What are you having for breakfast?
Ooh. It's not that exciting, but a chocolate protein shake. Why? It gives me, for some reason, a lot of energy, and I feel there. And, I'm always trying to keep, the waist snatched. So it helps. Either that, or I like a plain old American style breakfast, which is just bacon, eggs, and toast, and I'm good.
Love it. So either snatched waist or all the food groups real quick.
Correct. Depends how I'm feeling.
I love that. So, I also really appreciate your background, not only in aviation, but in law and justice. And so I'm curious if you can share with the people a little bit about your journey and trajectory and how you've been able to combine the two into a career.
Yeah. Well, for some reason, since I was very young, I was telling my parents I was going to be a lawyer. I have no idea where I got that from, besides the fact that I think I associated it with a career that was very bold and allowed me to speak up. And I always was very opinionated, so it seemed to match. And then, of course, on the aviation side, aviation has been a part of my family and our life all my life. So, my dad is a private pilot by trade, doesn't fly anymore, but so it was always a part. I had no idea that those two aspects of my career were going to intersect in the way they do, but it certainly helps. And I think by the time I hit law school, I was so immersed into the family business, which is Western Air. My parents founded the airline back in 2000. I was around 12 years old. And so, by the time I hit law school, I was really immersed into the business. It just made sense for me to really educate myself on aviation and corporate law. And so it was kind of a perfect harmony when those two things came together.
I love the perfect harmony and how it was able to work. And of course, sort of your own bravery and ability to soar in what you wanted to do, as well as in the family business. That's super cool. That's super cool, Rexy. Okay, another question, another fun question. It's time to soar to a 3-day business trip and you want to pack light and use a carry-on. What are your essentials?
Not gonna happen.
Look, I was asking.
No.
I was asking for me because that's how it works. Okay, right. But what are the essentials for a woman who wins and soars?
Ooh, to me, you need that basic business dress, which is focused on all the accentuating parts, but is not too risque, but just the right medium. You always need a good pump. And of course, your makeup bag, because honey, I do not wake up like this. So those things are necessary. I don't think I've ever just carried a carry-on bag, ever. Even if it's just a 3-day trip. And I'm not ashamed of it.
Me neither. Me neither. This is why I was asking selfishly that question. Now we know, everybody out there, not to feel bad about the fact that we have a big bag for our 3-day trip. Okay, we need the necessities, right? Okay, so back to business. Tell us what it's like being a Black woman, part of a Black family in the aviation and airline industry. And is there a demand for more Black professionals in airline ownership and in aviation fields?
Well, I'll start with the last question first. Absolutely. We can certainly use more Black professionals throughout the entire aviation field, and not just in the standard careers that are associated with aviation, which are great careers such as pilots and flight attendants. But I always say that an airline business is just basically, once you put the fancy jets to the side, is just a service-based business. And so any business that is service-based, and you can think of the skill set that is necessary and the careers that are necessary to make that run, that's what's needed in an airline. And so I think I'm saying that because I think sometimes people may be a bit hesitant to jump into an aviation-based company simply because they think it's so technical and requires all this additional aviation knowledge, and usually it does not. So I would definitely venture into the field, knowing that there is a need for you. How is it for me and my family? It's certainly a unique experience. We've certainly had our times of people trying to minimize or discredit what we do simply because they don't understand it, or they're just unfamiliar, or it's hard to believe. But we don't take ourselves very seriously, but we take our passengers very seriously. And so we never take for granted how special it is to be in this industry, to do what we do and offer this service every day, and especially as a Black family. So we really just cherish that, and we know that it's important for us to bring up other Black professionals in the industry.
I love this notion about empowering the other generations and the next Black professionals in this industry. And y'all who are tuning in, make sure you're doing all your research on how you can potentially be involved as well, okay? The answer is that we are needed. We are needed.
Yeah.
So how, considering this theme, it's time to soar, which I know I am having all the fun with today. But, how do you define soaring? What does it mean to soar as a Black woman in business?
I think to soar means, well, it's a combination of things. I feel it means that you're taking things that you're passionate about, that you have interest in, and you're combining that with how can you be of service or provide something that people would want or need, and also finding a way for it to be profitable and purposeful. So I think, soaring is a combination of that and feeling as if you have this sense of purpose and you've established yourself into the homes of others. And for me, I'm so happy that I found that at an earlier pace, and it was something that I completely didn't think was going to happen. Just because, in a family style business, you see your parents interested in a particular aspect and of life, and you don't automatically adopt that. But over time, I really started to understand that this is not about me, this is not about them. This is, people rely on us for this particular service, and that makes me feel like I'm soaring, to know that they trust us with this.
I love that. You're such a servant leader, if you will. The service to others, I can see, really empowers you, and
Absolutely.
I'm sure your family.
Absolutely.
Amazing, y'all. Well, I think, again, we are just getting all the tips and tricks to the trade of soaring, even just from watching how you do and how you go and how you operate. And so thank you again for all your transparency. Okay. How can we get our wings? How can we soar like you?
Well, I know this is a business audience, so I will say something that they probably already know, but just as a strong reminder that at any core business, you have to develop trust. It's like getting into a relationship. People need to trust your products are going to be just as good as the first time they tried it. Your service is just as good or better than the first time they tried it. And so every day for us really is about how can we improve the experience that our passengers just had. So how do you get your wings? Consistency, reliability, being trustworthy, and showing them that I'm not here for a good time, I'm here for a long time. Every time you need this particular product or service, I'm going to be here with the same quality, with the same energy each time. And that to me is how you get your wings.
And to get real with us for a second about some of the realities about entrepreneurship. I know that you've watched your family and now you've stepped into soaring in your own right. However, I know it's not always floating in the sky. There are hardships at times. And so can you tell us how you have watched your family overcome those challenges and how you've been able to implement it into your work as a woman who wins?
Well, I can tell you that it has not been an easy road, and it's still not an easy road. A large part of my role is defending us, not against, liability claims or anything like that, but just pertaining to getting what we believe we're entitled to and what we deserve as a company. And so what I would say is that persistence pays off even when passion wears off. So sometimes, just in terms of regulatory wise or getting into the regular business processes and getting financing and getting all the things that is necessary, all of that is a challenge. All of that is tedious paperwork. And so where yes, you might be passionate about something, but at the end of the day, you also have to have this core perseverance that says, I have to continue. Whatever that is that drives you to say, I must continue on, that's what you have to tap into every day, because every day you'll be faced with new challenges. You'll be faced with naysayers or people who just simply, for whatever reason, is giving you a hard time. And there's always that opportunity to say, despite this, I'm moving forward. Despite this, I'm pushing forward. I'm soaring.
Yeah, I think we can get an amen on that one. Okay. So we are going to go back into a fun question since we've overcome those challenges. Okay. It is time to soar to your favorite place to unwind. Where is Rexy going?
Oh, that's tough. To be honest, I'm a city girl. Okay.
Yeah.
I think coming from the islands, I love big cities. So, even when you think about unwinding, you think paradise. And I love the islands. I love the Bahamas. I love Turks and Caicos. But I love to go to like New York, LA. I just love seeing the energy and that excitement and meeting up with friends. That to me is so fun.
Yeah, you're like me. A lot of people. I mean, I will do it on a beach because I live in DC. Okay. However,
Yeah.
City, right?
Yeah.
And it's unapologetically Black.
Yes. That's what I love about it.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I always say that there's a part of me that likes going to places that are high energy because it's giving me the battery that I need almost in a way.
Right.
So, again, this is just an amazing combo in Black Girl Magic as we talk about soaring, everybody. So excuse us. So what are some of the ways that you find to stay grounded in your work professionally? And not meaning how you get people together at your job, meaning outside of your work, how do you remain grounded professionally?
For me, my faith is a big deal. I truly believe I wouldn't be here without the grace of God. So that's what 100% keeps me grounded and keeps me focused and believing and knowing that there's something, so special about every single one of us and what we bring to this world. Besides that, my family, they keep you grounded, child. They keep you grounded, child. So they are so real. They tell me about myself, child. So they 100% keep me grounded. So faith and family for sure.
And what would you suggest for those of us out there who may say, okay, well, I have the faith part, I have the family part, but I still, seem to feel scattered, to feel anxious?
I know this may seem like such a cliche answer, but I really believe that all the answers are within you. And sometimes we don't spend enough time with ourselves to determine what those answers are, or we self-doubt. And so spending time with yourself, I mean, we're inundated with our phones, emails, social media, all that stuff. And you'd be surprised how strange it may be for some to just sit there and really contemplate, what is it that I want to do? What is it that I'm trying to accomplish? And then break that down into different items and break those items down into different items and really analyze your goals. And I believe that if you're doing something small towards your goals every day, it adds up tremendously. And so spending time with oneself to really understand what you want out of life, really understand what you want out of your business and what you want to accomplish, and to self-organizing and being accountable to spending that time and establishing what am I going to do little by little to get there.
I love that. Thank you for that advice. Another fun question. It is time to soar to the gym. What is your playlist?
Oh, ooh. There's definitely a mix. I like all the powerful girls, the Queen Bee, Rihanna. I definitely like some hip hop thrown in there in the mix there. Definitely some reggae and dancehall, Afro beats. It's really kind of all over the place. But it gives me that energy that's necessary. Nicki Minaj, I like listening to her. I want to feel fierce, I want to feel like, there's a reason why I'm in this gym. I want to look a specific way. There's a reason.
Yes, yeah. Until Ree's pregnancy, which even now, because she looks so phenomenal, I would like.
I'm gonna be an auntie child.
Yes. I'm like, okay, let me get my baby shower
Right.
stuff ready to go because I'm waiting for my invitation.
Right.
No, but I every time I listen to Rihanna's music, I'm like, this is for my Rihanna body on my beach in my fake Barbados,
Right.
So I
Right.
totally get you in that playlist. Okay, in the same vein, and it might be the same kind of music. What's the playlist when you have that meeting or you have this tough case that is really getting on your nerves and you have to be on your P's and Q's?
So yeah, I would say it's similar music, but I would probably add a bit more hip hop in there. Like yesterday I was listening to Run This Town at least like on repeat. Like just going in, on these emails as if I'm going to war. So yeah, I would say a mix of hip hop.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love it. I could talk to you all day, Rexy, and I thank you so much for your time and the fun we've had. My final question for you is if you could offer any parting words of advice or wisdom in all of the really valuable things and gems that you've given us today, but any parting words for us about how we can soar no matter the field we're in?
First thing I would say, you're here for a reason. You're in this field for a reason. And your talents and skills will make room for you. And you first have to believe in yourself before anybody else will believe in you. Regardless of age, regardless of skin color, you have it all already. And so I just really believe that the first step is believing. You have to believe that you have the abilities within you. It's not, oh, I can't do that. You absolutely could do that. There's nothing, I'm no different. My family is no different. We're nobody special in comparison to you. You have the capability, you have all of that. And so once you believe that, and once you apply yourself, going back to knowing yourself, then you're able to really implement those small steps to get you to where exactly you're supposed to be.
Rexy, Rolle, everybody, so incredibly inspiring. Thank you for all that you have shared with us today. I applaud your parents for their bravery and their ability to be barrier breakers in starting Western Air, and just, again, your fearlessness and confidence and dedication to not only the family business, but justice within it. And so we really appreciate your time today. You have to come back to the Afro for sure.
Yes.
And thank you for being a woman who wins.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.